playing at Leeds in the final against England was a very, very cool experience.
Yeah.
Because I'd always watched football, soccer and everything, and, they were a powerhouse Leeds, when I was growing up watching football. So to be able to go and watch, and the Rhinos watching and play at that stadium was a very cool moment as well.
So everything's on the up. You're a superstar of the game. You're young, talented, good-looking young rooster. You're confident, the world at your feet. And then comes round 4 of the 2012 season, Brisbane versus Souths. What do you remember of the actual incident, mate, on the field?
Yeah, I remember all of it. It's something that I'll never forget, and I'm happy that I've come to terms with what's happened to me now. I'm old enough and smart enough and I suppose wise enough to be able to talk about my journey in that situation. I knew nothing. I knew it wasn't right. I knew something wasn't right because. My ankle was obviously pointing the other way, but I knew that something wasn't right because I knew Alf didn't like blood, and I've never seen him do a U-turn like I did when he was running down the sideline.
Really?
Yeah. So he did come and look, and then he seen, because I had yellow socks on that night because it was a compound fracture. It'd come through, so he saw the
compound fractures when the bone comes
out of your
pierces
skin.
The skin.
It pierces the skin. So Alf sort of faints a little bit when he sees blood. So he in a moment of chaos, that made me giggle a little bit. How frantic everyone was. How frantic everyone was. From not only my teammates, but GI, who was on the other side playing for the Rabbitohs at the time. So yeah, it was a moment I was like, yeah, shit, this is not good. But I didn't know the extent to it.
Before we go into the rehab, the recovery and the mindset, what was the actual injury/injuries now that we look back?
Yeah, so it was a tib, fib and a dislocation of my ankle joint. So I broke both those tib and fib up high, a little bit higher, snapped them a little bit. I'm not sure if they were spirals. I can't remember now, but they were hairline fractures, I believe.
Yep.
And then a dislocation of my ankle joint bone which really tore pretty much all my ligaments.
Yep.
They just took everything with it. And everyone, in your ankle, you've just got really fine, thin muscles and ligaments. So it was really hard for them to sort of come back.
Run us through the rehab and your mindset. You go through your surgeries. Were you doing rehab to return to footy in 3 months, 6 months' time in your own mind?
I've written that year off. So 12 was a write-off. So we were just like, we're just going to put a line through it.
Yep.
And I was like, that's fine with me. And 13 was, sort of comeback season. Yeah. And that was where my mental state was. But as we progressed in our, rehab, it just wasn't looking, it was looking worse, not worse and worse, but it just wasn't getting significantly better.
Yep, okay.
So it was hard to hear some of those things. But then again, I'm a very stubborn person, Andy. So I refused to stop. I got to thank the team there, the Broncos, the physio team and our trainers. They never doubted me. They never told me, they never wanted to put something in my head like that.
Yeah.
They never doubted me one bit. And I'm so thankful for that because I probably would have gave up a year ago.
Yeah,
It was only sort of when I started playing, back, It just wasn't healing as good and I just had no flexion in it.
Because you did come back in 13 with Norths in the Q Cup, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I came back, played 6 games for Norths. And then I hurt my left ankle and I couldn't really walk at all. So my thought process was wow, I'm pretty scared. I'm scaring myself here.
Yeah,
if I fully hurt the other foot, I'm going to be partially disabled.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to walk. So, after that happened, there was a pretty big moment for me to go, this is not good. But it didn't, it sort of didn't get any better from them because then, I just wasn't playing any footy, so it was a sort of a spiral after that.
Was there one particular moment where you realised that this is over?
Yeah. I think it would have been – I believe I retired in 14.
Yeah.
Start of 14. And at the end of 14, I was coming to training and I was trying to go again. And I just remember sitting in the physio room and I just broke down. I just couldn't. I just broke down because it was just like, I just can't do this anymore. And I just asked Luke Anning, who's the physio still there, who's a good mate of mine, just asked him to get Hook. And he came in and he was like, asked me what's the matter. And I just said, I'm done.
Yep.
And he, in great Hook fashion, he goes, fucking took you long enough.
Is that right?
Well,
yeah.
I think they all knew, but they just wanted me to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, and he just said, you gave it way more than what we all thought you were going to. So, that happened in 12. I retired in 14. So it was pretty much almost 2 years of...
You've given everything?
I gave everything.
Yep.
I was mentally just not good as well. So, once that monkey was off my back, it felt better.